So we got 2 Hatterenes in our discard pile. We need 2 Hatterenes, 3 Hatterenes in play. We don't need a Charizard anymore because we have 12 cards in our deck, 12 cards left. So that means I'm just gonna use that just in case we need our Charizard. What else? What the hell? So we have 2 Hatterenes. 2 Hatterenes, that means we don't need to use a rod? I don't know. Let's use a rod for Hatenna and Hatterene. Okay, let's just get a Dedenne, I suppose. I'm just gonna put those 2 because we have a Hatenna in our prize card. So we'll just wait for that Hatenna and then summon 3 Hatterenes right now. We don't need Charizard, like we seriously don't need Charizard. We might actually, but I don't think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 Pokemon cards left. We can discard them easily with Roxy, Mine Hat. So let's discard both the Orbeetles. Pre-evolution Orbeetles. We have 4 cards in our deck left. Important to note that. Okay, let's Mine Hat now. We can already knock out the Gardevoir. We have 4 turns left, so it's important to note that we cannot be drawing any more cards from our deck. If they play a Marnie, that's actually good for us. Okay, Charizard, Dedenne, let's discard a Dedenne. Let's discard a Talonflame for our last one. Bad thing about Hatterene is that it's 2 energy retreat costs. That means we can't actually retreat without an air balloon or without attaching an extra energy, wasting another energy card. So, Dripping Grudge. Let's see how many that is. 250. 25 damage counters. Not much, but enough, I suppose. So let's discard Talonflame. Get out. Two Hatterenes. So Battle Sense add those 2 damage counters, and now we get to Mine Hat for 250. 250 damage, if I'm not mistaken. Because if they boss order our Charizard, we get to triple XL and retreat, because it is 3 energy retreat costs. 25 Exacto, because we used Blow Away Bomb Roxy on them for 2 damage counter. So that actually helps. And we got our Mimikyu, that's perfect. Hello everybody, welcome back to Bearware the Terrible! Today we have a new standard deck for you called the Royal Enchantment. So in Royal Enchantment we are featuring our Rebel Clash card, Hatterene with the Mine Hat ability and Dripping Grudge attack. So we are once again featuring this deck off of the attack Dripping Grudge. So Dripping Grudge does 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon for each Pokemon cards in your discard pile. So how do we accumulate enough Pokemon cards in our discard pile to do enough damage to knock out a VMAX tag team, a V card? We're obviously not trying to knock out a VMAX tag team with 1 hit, because it is virtually impossible for a Dripping Grudge to do a 1-hit knockout, because you can do only up to 300 damage. 30 damage counter is already a lot, is already an amazing feat with your Dripping Grudge attack with Hatterene, because it only does 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So we are trying to use Battle Sense and Fast Flight to discard as many cards from our deck, to discard as many cards from our hand and our deck, Pokemon cards, so that we get to do as much damage with our Dripping Grudge and knock out V cards fast in the game, so that we get to win the game, draw enough prize cards for the win. So that is how we're intending to win the game. We are trying to use Orbeetle fast to bring out our Battle Sense card and our Mine Hat card, our Dripping Grudge card. So as many Charizards and as many Hatterenes into play as fast as possible is a good strategy for this deck, because that is how we are trying to boost our Hatterene to be able to do as much damage with Dripping Grudge as fast as possible. So Orbeetle needs to evolve by our second turn, otherwise this deck will not be able to work. So by our second turn, we need our Rare Candy, we need our Orbeetle. That is why we have Roxy in this deck. Roxy allows us to draw a whopping 6 cards into our hand, and we get to discard any Pokemon cards. The only card we can't discard with Roxy is our Dedenne-GX, which we only have 3 in this deck. We don't want to have that many Dedenne-GX because we don't want to be restricting our bench spaces, because we only have a limited amount of bench space for Evomancy. We need to save our bench spot for Hatterenes and for Charizard so that we get to use Evomancy. So we need a lot of special energies in this deck because Evomancy require a lot of energy cards for you to be able to summon as much stage 2 Pokemons from your deck directly. If you guys are not familiar with this card already, Battle Styles Orbeetle allows you to use Evomancy and search your deck for each energy card attached to your Orbeetle. You get to search your deck for a stage 2 Pokemon card and put it directly onto your bench without evolving. So that's how powerful Evomancy is, but it is a stage 2 card. You need to evolve this Orbeetle with a Rare Candy, and you also, another condition for this attack is that you also cannot place an Orbeetle with your Evomancy. So you cannot place any Orbeetle cards with your Evomancy. Not even other Orbeetle. Like there are other variations of the Orbeetle card from Sword and Shield with the Bugs Radar ability. You can't even put this card into play. So with Evomancy. So we also have Roxy Blowaway Bomb. Roxy Blowaway Bomb allows us to place those extra damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, allowing us to knock them out with one hit with Dripping Grudge. Hopefully a VMAX can be knocked out if we place enough damage counter with Blowaway Bomb first before we do our Dripping Grudge later on, because later on Dripping Grudge can do up to 200 or 250 damage. By our 3rd or 4th turn, Dripping Grudge can already do up to 250 or 290 damage. So 29 damage counters. That's the maximum that I can do. That's the record. That's the record for me for this deck. Even though we have 38 Pokemon cards in this deck, the maximum that I can do for a game is 29 damage counters with my Dripping Grudge at the very final stage of the game. Sometimes I can do 31, but you know, usually the best one is 29. That is like the what do you call it? The average that I can do at the final stage of the game. I can do 29 usually. So 29 damage counter. Why is it so unlikely for us to do more? Because we need to discard a lot of cards. We need a lot of cards in our discard pile. So by the end stage of the game, we usually have still a few Pokemon cards left in our deck, still a few Pokemon cards in our hand, a lot of Pokemon cards in our battlefield in play. So that is the reason we don't have that much in our discard pile yet, and also in our prize card. So we have 38 Pokemon cards in this deck. Some could be in our prize card, in our hand, in our deck, in play. So that is why we can't do a max of 38 damage counters with our Dripping Grudge. That's impossible. So 30 or 29 is usually a good number at the end stage of the game, but expect to do only 25 damage counters by your turn 3 or turn 4, because you can't really discard that fast. Even with Fast Flight and Dedenne-GXs and Battle Sense, it's really quite difficult. So we're trying to do that as fast as we can with this deck. That is why we have Talonflame is a good card. This card is really good because it has no retreat cost and it has the Fast Flight attack, allowing you to do discard all of your hand and draw 6 cards, and allowing you to do this attack on the first turn as well. And it is also a colorless energy cost. That means you get to use Psychic Energy for it. You get to use Twin Energy. You don't get to attach Triple XL obviously because it's not an evolution card. But the reason we have 3 Triple XL and 2 Twin Energy is because we need special energy for Orbeetle. Orbeetle cannot do much with Evomancy if you don't play special energy cards. So we need those special energy cards, and this is actually a very risky deck because we are playing a lot on risk. We are using our Roxy card to draw out the right cards into our hand, not only to discard our Pokemon cards and also to prepare for our next Fast Flight, but also to draw out the right cards because we need our Rare Candies, we need our Orbeetles, we need energy cards as well. So how are we gonna draw those cards if we don't rely on luck? Because we need way too many spaces for Pokemon cards. So another way you can think about adding those cards into this deck is maybe a Celebi with the Woodland Stroll ability, allowing you to look at the top 6 cards of the deck and put an energy card from there into your hand and then shuffle your deck afterwards. So that is an alternative, but you have to retreat that. You have to add cards to retreat or scoop up that Celebi so that you get to attack and do something other than just the ability. It's not good to just do that ability and pass the turn, because that would just be wasting your turn. It's better to do that ability, get the card that you need, evolve, and then switch out to an Orbeetle, use Evomancy on the same turn, than to waste your turn only to search for that energy card, or with your Manaphy only to search for that Pokemon card. Ocean Search is also a strong ability. It allows you to search, same thing as Woodland Stroll, except it allows you to search your deck for Pokemon cards from the top 6 card of your deck and then shuffle your deck afterwards. It's also 1 energy retreat cost, so it's not a good card actually. That is why we only have 1 Manaphy in this deck, no Celebi. That's because I find other cards more important. So we have 4 Talonflames, 4 Blipbugs, 4 Orbeetles, 4 Hatterenes, 4 Battle Sense Charizards, and 3 Dedenne-GXs, 4 Weezings, 2 Hatennas, 1 Hattrem, 2 Mew. Mew allows you to protect yourselves from bench threatening cards like Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, any cards that attack your bench Pokemon. You don't get to protect from Dragapult VMAX, but you do get to protect from a lot of bench destruction decks. So Mew is a good card to add in any deck. So for this deck, we get to add a Mew because it actually fills in the spot for our Pokemon cards, because we need a lot of Pokemon cards to be able to do enough damage with Dripping Grudge. If we don't need a Mew, it's better not to put it onto your bench, because that way you get to add those extra damage counters with your Dripping Grudge by discarding your Mew rather than having it in play. So it's a waste to have it in play and have your opponent knock it out for an extra price card if you have a Mew and you don't need to use it. It's better not to put it into play if you don't need it. So we also have Mimikyu in this deck. Mimikyu is a very strong card that shows up later on in the game. So if it shows up early on, then you have no choice but to discard it with either a Roxy or Fast Flight or Dedenne-GX. It's better to just discard it. Then later on, when you've run out of your Hatterenes, when you can't attack, you can't do anything else, when they have taken a lot of prize cards and have very few prize cards left, it's very important to use your Mimikyu then, because it has the Dummy Doll ability. This ability is super strong at the end stage of the game when your opponent is very close to the win. When they are very close to winning the game, if you play this card onto your bench, you get to protect yourself, buy yourself an extra few turns before they knock you out for the last knockout. So Mimikyu protects you from all damage. You get to protect Mimikyu from all damage from your opponent's Pokemon until the end of your opponent's next turn. So the ability only lasts for 1 turn, but it is a very strong ability. You get to buy yourself 1 extra turn, and maybe that's all it takes to win the game, because Jealous Eyes is also a strong attack. Jealous Eyes Mimikyu V allows you to place 3 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon for each prize card that they have taken. So if they have taken 5 or 4 prize cards, you get to place 15 or 12 damage counters on their active Pokemon. That is a lot of damage counters, and if they don't damage, if they don't knock you out, if they don't boss order, if they don't get their boss orders in time, then you get to do double Jealous Eyes. You get to do Jealous Eyes on this turn and on your next turn before they collect their last prize card. So you get to do as much as 240 or 300 damage with your Jealous Eyes. That's a lot. You can knock out a tag team already. So Dummy Doll Jealous Eyes is a very strong card to use at the end stage of the game when they're about to win. So we are trying to stall as much as possible with this card. So we have a lot of rods in this deck as well. 2 ordinary rods that allows us to shuffle back our Mimikyu V into our deck and use it later on in the game when we need to, because we have Battle Sense. If we have a Charizard in play, then we get to Battle Sense for those Mimikyu V, and then put it into play, put it into our bench, and activate its ability. That's how strong the Mimikyu V card is. So even though we have to discard it early on in the game, if it shows up way too early, it's okay to discard it because we have rods to save it later on. But you need to think about it early on in the game to save your Mimikyu V for the end stage, for the final gambit, because Mimikyu V has to be there in your deck. If you have your rods early on in the game, you can't discard your rods and Mimikyu V at the same time. You have to think about saving your rods or your Mimikyu V, because you can't discard your rods and Mimikyu V, otherwise you can't use this at the end of the game. And it is very crucial to use it, because by the time you use your first Hatterene, your opponent will have taken at least 2 or 3 prize cards already, because they can knock out a Talonflame V, they can knock out your Orbeetle, they're very likely to knock out at least 1 or 2 Orbeetles, 1 Blipbug and an Orbeetle, so they have already taken 1 or 2 prize cards, sorry, 2 or 3 prize cards by the time you play your first Hatterene. That is already a lot, so we need our Mimikyu to stall our opponent for us to do enough knockouts to win the game. So that is the bad side about this card, is that you need to sacrifice a lot of turns. You need to sacrifice a lot to be able to collect enough Pokemon cards in your discard pile to do enough damage to knock out your opponent's Pokemon. We're also playing 2 Hatennas in this deck, which is an alternative way to bring out our Hatterene card. So we don't have to rely only on Evomancy to bring out our Hatterene into play. So the good thing about that is we get to evolve with Rare Candy or through a Hattrem. That means we don't have to pass the turn giving off a prize card, because if we use Evomancy, we are essentially allowing our opponent to knock out another Orbeetle, essentially letting them draw an extra prize card. We don't want them to happen. We don't want that to happen. We don't want them to get an extra prize card for that added advantage. So it's better to evolve with Rare Candy than to use another Evomancy. So only use 1 Orbeetle per game. That is the golden rule. Don't use more than 1 and pass the turn. That is just not a good deal, because it's better to just evolve with the Rare Candy and then use your Fast Flight. That way you get to do something else rather than just bring out your Hatterenes into your bench. So Evomancy only once and then a Rare Candy afterwards, because we get to use Rod as well. If your Hatterenes get knocked out, you get to Rod them and then Rare Candy evolve your Hatenna after your first batch of Hatterenes get knocked out. So that's how you get out more Hatterenes into play and use more times your Dripping Grudge attack. So that is how powerful your having just a few Hatennas in your deck. That's how powerful it is. And we are also playing 4 Blipbugs in this deck. Obviously we need 4 because this is the main card we are using to summon our Stage 2 Pokemons fast. We are also summoning our Charizard, by the way. Charizard Battle Sense has a good ability, allowing us to discard our deck fast enough to discard enough cards so that we get to do enough damage to knock out a V card early on in the game. So Battle Sense is a good ability, but obviously if you don't have enough energy attached to your Orbeetle, it's better to just summon your Hatterenes, because we can't attack with Charizard. Charizard requires fire energy cards and it only does extra damage for extra Leons in your discard pile. We're not playing Leons in this deck. We're only featuring this deck of Dripping Grudge. So you might actually think about having a few Leons, adding balancing things out by having an alternative fire energy or aurora energy in your deck, but I prefer to feature this deck only on the Dripping Grudge attack. So that is my focus. My focus is on Dripping Grudge. So that is why it's better not to summon your Charizard at all if you don't have enough energies for it, because we are only attacking with Hatterene. Charizard is essentially only useful for its ability. So that is all for this deck. I don't want to go on too long. Let's go ahead for the gameplay. So today's music will be electro, future bass, and bounce music from a bunch of different channels. One of it is bass no copyright music. So they feature really good music. Go to their channel, check out their music. You can use them for your videos as well because it's no copyright. So go ahead, check out their music. They feature really good music. So let's go ahead for gameplay with our Royal Enchantment deck. Royal because of our Royal Blaze Charizard, and Enchantment because we are using our Enchanting Hatterene, the Witch, the Psychic, the delicious Psychic type. So we are going first, that's a good thing. And we drew Talonflame, that's perfect. No Blipbug, that's not that good. But we got energy card though. So we only have 5 basic psychic energy cards in this deck. So it's good to use them sparingly. I forgot to mention that because we only have 5 basic psychic energy cards. But we do have 2 rods though. So you actually have to think about it when you have to, you know, you have to consider before you attach your energy cards, because we can't attach way too many psychic energies to our Blipbug. You have to attach special energy to your Blipbug because you can only use your psychic energy for your Hatterene, your Mimikyu, and your Fast Flight. Other energy cards, all of those special energy cards are only reserved for your Blipbug, and psychic energy cards are only reserved for your Hatterene. So you have to be very thrifty with your energy card that way. So they're playing Gardevoir VMAX, and we're playing Hatterene, so Fairy versus Fairy. I don't think this is a Fairy type though, not really sure. Fairy Psychic? Psychic Ghost? Dedenne and Crobat V. We don't have Crobat V in this deck because we are playing Roxy, so no point using a Crobat. We're gonna draw way too many cards into our hands. Not gonna be playing that many cards anyways. We're gonna be discarding a lot. Oh, we should have gone first actually, because Fast Flight allows you to do it on the first turn if you go first. But we could have drawn something else though. Something else could have been our first basic, our first active. I usually get Hatenna or Blipbug as my first active, but it's actually quite lucky for me to get Talonflame as my first active in this game. So I'm gonna put yes over there. Sorry about that, guys. Just adjust things a little bit. There we go. There's nothing else we could do, like we can't play any other cards. We have to think about saving those bench spots because we need as many spaces as we can for as much Hatterenes and Charizards. Charizard is a powerful card as well for this deck because it allows us to choose one card from the top 3 cards, discard the other. That means we get to choose energy cards, we get to choose evolution cards, maybe evolve our third Hatterene or something like that. A bench Hatenna. We don't have... Oh my gosh, they're using Krigatune. Oh, I thought they don't have any hand. We don't have energy cards though. We need special energies and we need Blipbug Rare Candy. Sorry, Orbeetle Rare Candy. They can already attack. They can't do a lot of damage yet. They can't knock us out yet, so that's good. Okay, that's good. They pass the turn. We need to use... I don't know what to discard here. Oh, I should have used Rod. I should have used Pokemon first. That was silly. We already discarded one Rod, so I'm just gonna discard that one. Okay, that is just not good. Let's see if we have a Rod in our deck. One more Rod, there we go. Okay, I'm just not sure where to put this thing. We have 2 and 3 Charizards. So we are playing a Dedenne now, so that we get our energy cards, and then Fast Flight. Okay, no important cards there, that's fine. Let's hope we don't draw Hatterenes, because we need those Hatterenes in our deck to be able to summon them. Okay. Okay, that's good. We might not play that Roxy though, because we already got Triple XL. Let's see how many cards we have. So we got one Hatterene in the discard pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 already. 17 damage counters. And they didn't knock us out. Wow. That was close. No VMAX yet. Okay, I'm just gonna do it, you know. Let's hope we get a Rod because we still have a Rod in our deck. And not Hatterenes. No Hatterenes, please. Oh, thank God. I'm gonna check how many Hatterenes we have. I'm sorry I keep doing that because I can't actually check the numbers. I can't see the numbers. So we got 2 Hatterenes in our discard pile. We need 2 Hatterenes, 3 Hatterenes in play. We don't need that Charizard anymore because we have 12 cards in our deck. 12 cards left. So that means I'm just gonna use that. Just in case we need our Charizard. What else? What the hell? So we have 2 Hatterenes. 2 Hatterenes, that means we don't need to use a Rod? I don't know. Let's use a Rod for Hatenna and Hatterene. Because we don't have Psychic Energy. Okay, let's just get a Dedenne, I suppose. Yeah, let's just get a Dedenne. And now attach that one. I'm just gonna put those 2 because we have a Hatenna in our prize card. So we'll just wait for that Hatenna and then summon 3 Hatterenes right now. We don't need Charizard, like we seriously don't need Charizard. We might actually, but I don't think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 Pokemon cards left. We can discard them easily with Roxy, Mine Hat. Roxy to draw out those Pokemon cards and Mine Hat to discard them 1 by 1. 3 by 3 actually. 3 per turn. We get to discard 3 from their hand and from our hand. But discarding from their hand actually gives them the advantage. Might give them the advantage. Because they might actually want to draw more cards. So that's the first Orbeetle knockout. We are not playing any more Orbeetles because we don't have to anymore. Let's play this one because we can retreat. Free retreat costs. Very good card. So let's discard both the Orbeetles. Pre-evolution Orbeetles. We have 4 cards in our deck left. Important to note that. Okay, let's Mine Hat now. We can already knock out the Gardevoir. We don't actually need to use the Roxy just now. We have 4 turns left, so it's important to note that we cannot be drawing any more cards from our deck. If they play a Marnie, that's actually good for us. Because it increases the number of our deck, the number of cards in our deck. Okay, Charizard, Dedenne, let's discard a Dedenne. Let's discard a Talonflame for our last one. Bad thing about Hatterene is that it's 2 energy retreat costs. That means we can't actually retreat without an air balloon or without attaching an extra energy, wasting another energy card. So, Dripping Grudge. Let's see how many that is. 250, 25 damage counters. Not much, but enough, I suppose. We have a few more Pokemon cards in our deck and in our hand. We can do up to 280 now. But they're probably going to knock us out now. We are not actually weak towards Psychic type. We're weak towards Dark type. Oh, they just let us win. Okay, they didn't find their Gardevoir VMAX. I'm not sure what happened there. Like, they couldn't get their VMAX in time, I suppose. Really bad, really bad luck, I suppose. Or maybe just a bad deck, I don't know. So let's go ahead for our second game with the Royal Enchantment deck, featuring Hatterene, Charizard, Mimikyu V, and Talonflame. Fast Flight. Come on, faster. There we go. Reshizard. Massive damage. Very fast. Welder. Crazy fire combo. Let's see if we can win. Probably have a Volcanion to start with. We got not bad. We didn't get too bad of a hand. We got Roxy to start with. Electromagnetic Radar, Pokemon Catcher. Radar for Dedenne, I suppose. Radar to discard. Why would they need to discard though? They might even have Pikarom. So let's draw an extra card. Oh, we get to blow them away with the Blow Away Bomb. 10 damage counter, not a lot, but it does accumulate. So it's their first turn, they can't attack, and you know, they can't attach energy with their Flare Starter. Flare Starter doesn't do much anymore. Zekrom Reshiram. Okay, we got 2 damage counters. They're probably gonna knock out our Blipbug on the next turn. They have 1 card in their hand though. That's like scary for them. So let's attach that one. We can actually use Dedenne right now, but I don't want to because we got a Rare Candy at hand. I just don't want to. I think we have to though. I feel like we have to because we don't have special energy cards. Let's just do it. Let's see how many Hatterenes we have in the deck. We have 3 Hatterenes, that's good. We have a lot of Charizards. We don't need that many Charizard, only 2 is enough actually. So Mimikyu, it's okay. Do we have energy cards? No. Okay. So we wasted a Rod and a Mimikyu and a Hatterene and an Orbeetle. We have 3 more Orbeetles in the deck. We didn't get a good hand. That was like really bad. Let's hope we get Hatterene or something. Sorry, Roxy. I just said Hatterene, my bad. Let's hope we get a Roxy or something. So they have a bad hand as well. They don't have a supporter card. They didn't have a supporter card. Oh my gosh, no energy, no nothing. Come on, Roxy, come on. Flare Starter again. They're buying a lot of time. Okay, we got a Talonflame at least. This is like really scary. I don't want to put that onto play though. They could have a boss order. Or a Pokemon catcher. Flare Starter again, wow. They could actually destroy us already. They can actually knock out everything already. But they decide not to. Okay, we got our Orbeetle. But we don't have energy cards. Wow. Let's just evolve that one. And that one. Just to show them that we can evolve the next one, get it ready to go fast. Don't have energy cards though. We don't have fire energies in our deck, so Giant Heart doesn't help us. But it helps us discard our hand though. They're playing the Ends legendary Pokemon. Ends tag team. Fable Flare Bolts, 270 damage for 3 discards. Fire or lightning. They need a lightning energy though to use that attack from your benched Pokemon. Oh my gosh, they're collecting a lot of energy cards for Double Blaze and Fabled Firebolts. Fabled Flare Bolts. So we get to use Dedenne now. Let's save Hatterene. We have to wait for a knockout though, because we actually can't retreat. We don't have switch cards, we don't have Scoop Up Net. So we have to wait for a knockout. That's how ridiculous this is. We can retreat now, but they could have a boss order. So let's attach a twin. You know what? Let's attach to this one. Let's retreat on the next turn, reflect this turn, see what they do. Because next turn we get to summon 3 if they knock out our Dottler. If they knock out our Orbeetle, then we have no choice but to use Fast Light. But we can't even use Fast Light because we need to retreat. Oh, we can, but we have to reset our energy cards. So they're adding even more energy cards, like energy cards galore. Oh my gosh. Welder, Giant Heart, that's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 energy cards. 12 energy cards, my bad. Oh, 11. So they're using High Heat Blast. Alright, that's good. They took the bait and get to use Twin now. Should we use Twin or Triple XL? Let's just use Twin. So let's discard Talonflame. Get out 2 Hatterenes, 1 Hatterene, 13, 14 damage counters. Two Hatterenes. We can't really do much to them. We need to knock out 2 tag teams. They're probably gonna attack with their Zen hit, but with their High Heat Blast, 110. We are gonna have to sacrifice 1 Hatterene. We have 2 in the discard pile. No more rods. I think we have 1 more rod. Could be in the prize card. Oh my god. They don't have lightning energies though. Like, where is their lightning energy? I bet they have like 3 lightning energy cards in their deck. Just because they only need 1 to attack with Reshiram. Welder. High Heat Blast. Okay, we have no choice but to attack with Hatterene. Shouldn't have used that actually. Now we have to discard our energy card. Let's just save the energy. Let's see what we get with Battle Sense. Oh, we got a Rod. We need our Hatterenes back. Got 2 energy cards in the discard pile as well. $25 damage counters. So we got 20 after this, the active gets knocked out. We need another 5 to knock out a tag team. Let's hope we get a Roxy. Got 3 Roxys left in the deck. We didn't get to use Fast Flight though. That is like a bit sad. Because Fast Light would have been made us made it super fast for us. We shouldn't have attached our energy. We shouldn't have used the first Dedenne actually. The first Dedenne stalled us by a lot. But if we didn't do that, then we're only good for 1 stage 2 Pokemon. So we could have done it the next turn though. So this deck is always a gamble because everything plays on risk. Now we need 27 damage counters. So they use Welder to fast charge it as well. Let's see if we can do it. We got a Roxy, that's good. Now all we need is oh, that's not good. We need an energy card though. We got 3 energy cards in the discard pile. Let's just get 1 Hatterene and 2 energies. So 1 Hatterene, 2 basic psychic energies. That's we should actually place the Hatenna so that we get to, oh my gosh, we don't have any Hatennas in the discard pile. Let's just discard 1 because we actually need that Hatenna. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's annoying. Should have discarded that Hatenna then. Okay, let's use Mine Hat now. Oh, we used up our Mine Hat. Oh well. I was being a bit blurred, phased out. So 5 more damage counters. They have boss orders now, Pokemon Catcher, whatever, Great Catcher probably, because they just searched their deck for 3 cards. Outrage, wow. I did not see that coming. That was very silly of them. Because now we are actually ahead of them. Three, four, I think we can knock them out. So Battle Sense add those 2 damage counters, and now we get to Mind Hat for 250. 250 damage, if I'm not mistaken. Let's attach the energy later, because they could just Crushing Hammer or something. Let's just attach it now, whatever. Because if they boss order our Charizard, we get to triple XL and retreat, because it is 3 energy retreat cost. 25 Exacto, because we used Blow Away Bomb Roxy on them for 2 damage counter, so that actually helps. And we got our Mimikyu. That's perfect. It's the perfect card to show up right now. We need our energy cards though, so Battle Sands for energy and then Mimikyu. We get to retreat with our Hatenna. They're probably gonna knock out this one. I mean, I'm not sure why they just used Outrage just now. That was like the silliest move ever. So they are gonna use Brilliant Flare, or they might even use their Fabled Flare Bolts. They still haven't got their Lightning Energy card. I don't think they have Lightning Energies in their deck. 5 more cards in their deck, 3 prize cards. I mean, they can actually search for the Lightning Energy. It might be in their prize card. You never know. So they are down to 2 prize cards. 120 doesn't do much, so we might actually fare better attacking with Hatterene first. Hatterene first, then Mimikyu. Let's hope we get our Hatterene. Like, we better be getting our Hatterene. Okay, we got Roxy at least. Oh my gosh. We need that Psychic Energy though. How many Psychic Energy cards do we have? 2, 1, 2, 1 left. Okay, oh my gosh, we can't actually use Roxy. Oh, we can. That's our last knockout. That's our last knockout. Oh, thank God. We don't need Mimikyu anymore. I just realized that. All we need is another tag team knockout. Oh, thank God. Phew, that was close. Let's just show off the Mimikyu. Yes. And add an extra one. Done. Let's not do too much. 300! Oh my gosh! 30 damage counters! That's insane! We won! Oh, that's crazy. Because they used Outrage. They shouldn't have used Outrage. What were they thinking? Why? And they wasted so many turns using Flare Starter when they could have just knocked out our Blipbug. So we weren't paired against a strong opponent. I suppose that's why we won. But I don't mind, because this is not a very powerful deck. It's just a fun deck to play with, because we are playing our Hatterene Dripping Grudge, another variation. If you haven't checked out our video, we made another deck featuring this card, the same attack but a totally different deck structure, but is the same attack. For that deck, we use a Porygon Z to discard for the first discard. For the first catch, we use Porygon Z's, I'm not sure what the GX attack is, but the GX attack allows you to discard any 10 cards from your deck. And then we get to use that attack with Mew. So Mew lends Porygon Z, which is a stage 2 Pokemon, to use its GX attack, and then that's our first catch. All we need to do after that is to worry about further discards. So discard even more from our deck with a Clay or Hapu or something like that, and then, you know, that actually sets us going. So Porygon Z is the main card for that deck. If you want to check out that deck, I'll drop a link in the description below. I'll even put it at the top right corner of this video, so check it out later, and the end screen as well. So this is basically the Royal Enchantment deck featuring our Hatterene, Charizard, and Orbeetle. So Charizard Battle Sense allows us to search, not only to discard 2 cards from the top of your deck, but also to choose one and put it into your hand. That means you get to select a Roxy, you get to select energy cards, you get to select special energy cards, Orbeetle, any evolution cards that you need. So Battle Sense is a very strong ability. You even get to fish out a Dedenne-GX or any card that you need a rare candy to evolve your 3rd Hatterene or something like that, or even a Mimikyu V. So that's why I add a Charizard to the Hatterene combo, because if you only have Orbeetle Hatterene, it doesn't do much. Whereas if you have Orbeetle, Charizard, and Hatterene, it speeds up not only your discard but also speeds up your the amount of things that you can do per turn. So Charizard actually gives you a lot of advantage in that sense. So we are also playing our Talonflame V, which allows us to fast draw our hand, discard fast as well, and it also allows you to do it on your first turn. That is the main advantage of this card. And it has free retreat cost. That means you get to, as I said earlier, you get to put it into play at the very end stage of the game, put it as your new active Pokemon, and then place your Mimikyu V for the free retreat. Then you get to use Jealous Eyes on the same turn. So that's how powerful Talonflame V is. Not only does it have the super strong fast fight attack, it also has free retreat cost. So that's our only free retreat cost card in this deck, but we do have 4 Talonflames. All other cards are 1 retreat cost at least. Hatterene is 2 energy retreat cost, Charizard 3. But the good thing about Charizard Hatterene is that we get to attach triple acceleration energy for the retreat if they boss order our Charizard and force it to, binds it to the active spot with a Fion or anything. If they use Galar Mine, then there's no hope, because that actually adds up to 5 energy retreat costs to our Charizard. So we can't actually do anything if they use a Galar Mine. If they boss order our Charizard without a Galar Mine, then we get to retreat with a triple acceleration energy and attack on the same turn if we already have an energy attached to our Hatterene. So that's how we're gonna play about. That's the mechanics of this deck. And Ocean Search allows you to search for a Pokemon card as well, but we are not relying too much on this card because, as I said, if you're using Ocean Search, you have to retreat as well, otherwise you can't do anything else, and it's not a smart move to pass the turn only doing an Ocean Search ability. So only searching for a Pokemon card allows your opponent to Marnie on their next turn. Not only that, they also have the free advantage of knocking out your Manaphy for an extra prize card. So Manaphy is actually not a good card to have in this deck, but you never know, it might come in handy at the right time when your opponent has a bad hand, or it really depends on the situation. You never know, you might be lucky for it to turn up at the right time. So we also have 2 Dottlers just in case we can't find our rare candies in time, because we are actually relying on Roxy to get out the right cards that we need. If Roxy doesn't get out the cards that we need, we have our Dedenne, we have our Fast Light, but those actually requires us to discard our hand. So if we discard way too many rare candies or way too many Orbeetles, then we are gonna have to evolve it stage by stage, or we're gonna have to rod them back and then use our rare candy later on, because that actually because those 2 cards actually forces us to discard our hand, and we might have the cards that we need for later on. So it's not a Cynthia, it's a Professor's Research effect. So that's what I'm trying to say. And then we only have 5 basic energy cards in this deck, so you have to use it sparingly, because we actually need it for Fast Light, we need it for Mimikyu V and Hatterene's Dripping Grudge as well. So you have to use it sparingly because we only have 2 rods in this deck, and we could actually discard them with our Fast Light and our Dedenne-GX as well. And they could even be in our prize card, so you actually have to be very careful about your energy cards, how you spend them. You have to be super careful. Don't attach way too many basic energies to your Orbeetle, because Orbeetle it's better to attach special energies, because that's what special energy cards is for. Special energy cards is not only just for Orbeetle VMAX, Orbeetle for this deck, but also for free retreat for your Charizard, but it's mainly for Orbeetle. That's why it's there. So if you have too many energy cards, if you have way too many basic energy cards to start with, don't attach more than two. Don't attach more than 2 basic energy cards to your Orbeetle, because you can't save them back. You don't have a lot of rods in this deck, only 2 rods. So you know, save those energies for later. If you have a Hatenna, attach it to a Hatenna, because that way you get to evolve later on. You get to prepare for your Hatterene. It's better to attach to a Hatenna than to your Orbeetle, because you know, Orbeetle needs special energies. You can't waste your basic energy cards. It's very precious, you know. You need it for Hatterene, because that's your only attacking card. So that's all for this deck. I don't want to go on too long. Hope you enjoyed our deck. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you find our videos interesting, entertaining, and fulfilling in any way. We'll see you in the next video. Have fun with this game. Keep building your own decks. Keep exploring new ways, new paths, new neural networks, because that is what we want to do. Challenge our own brain, challenge our mind, so that we get to find new strategies, find new combos and new things that work well together, and then explore our own personality through those brainstorms, because that allows us to grow as a person. So that is all. Hope you discover more colors. Amazing strike style. Bye guys.